Hi guys, Laura here. I'm here today to do a non-spoiler review of Alexandra Bracken's The Darkest Mind series. There is a total of 5 things in this series. The first book is Darkest Minds. Then there's a novella that comes between the first two, and it's called In Time. And then there's Never Fade, and then there's another novella, Sparks Fly, and then there's In the Afterlight by Alexandra Bracken. I highly If you have not started this series already, I highly recommend you read it in order, including the novellas, because I know personally for me, it made the story make a lot more sense, and I got a lot more out of it this second time that I read it. And the first time I read it, I was really confused going into book two. So I think this is one of the series you should read in close succession if you could. But I understand if you can't. But it really helped me when I read it the second time or get the audiobooks because it was a really good listen to the second time I read it. I kind of describe this book series as Divergent meets X-Men, kind of, because it really is highly dystopian, and I think you could definitely tell it takes place in America. But I think it had a lot of it had the presence of superpowers, but the presence of superpowers in powers that you don't actually want. And I think it's a really interesting way to do it because um, there was 5 powers you could have, and some were really not that bad, and some could be very, very dangerous. And I thought it was interesting how she chose to do that and how she chose to have people appear. I also thought the color spectrum is basically red, which is fire, I guess you could say. Orange, which is control electricity. Um, Yellow, which is orange is mind, like you could do stuff with memories. Yellow is electricity, and one move things with your mind, and one's really, really smart. I think green's really smart, and blue's move things with your mind. But I really like that part of it, and I think that it was really interesting having a character in one of the more dangerous colors as your lead. And I really did like Ruby throughout this book, and I felt really bad for her because she really felt like she had no control over her powers. And as you see throughout the book, I think that really changes, and she becomes a little bit more comfortable with herself. But it really takes to the end for her to feel confident, and I think that that's interesting. I also like the cast of characters that were introduced in all these books, including the novellas, because I think what Alexandra Bracken does so well is it introduces you to different perspectives. You don't just see the world from the kids' perspectives. You don't just see the world from adults' perspectives. You see the world from a lot of different perspectives, and I think that gives the world a much more fuller take. I kind of wish that would have been done in a few more series because I think it would have made the world feel realer. But I did like that. I also like the maturity of the kids, but them still being kids. I think that happened a lot in the first book when they were on their Big Betty road trip, and a lot in the last book because they were kind of with new characters. Um, so rivalries and stuff was kind of discussed. I thought that was interesting, and the book's also really interesting because all these characters that you meet and come across, they all come from such different backgrounds. So it's not like one solid experience. They all come from different experiences. The one thing that really got to me was the concentration camp element that inspired it, like the first book, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. But yeah, I really, really fell for Zoo, Liam, Chubbs, and Ruby the start of the book. So when anything bad happened to those characters, I got really, really upset. But in addition to all those books, I think the novellas were my favorite. I think In Sparks was one of my most favorite novellas I've ever read, and that's saying a lot because I've read a few of them recently. But yeah, I highly, highly recommend this series. It's a really, really quick read. If you could read it, quick succession, I highly recommend you do that. But yeah, if you guys have read this series, let me know what you think about it. Comment below, tweet me, go on my Goodreads, all that fun stuff. But yeah, I really hope you guys are having a good day. It's Thanksgiving here, so I hope you guys are having a good Thanksgiving if you guys celebrate that. But yeah, have a very nice day, guys.